Hello, this is Jeffrey Faulkner again with a little follow-up to the last video, which was a follow-up to the one before, which was a follow-up, and so on and so on. But if anybody wants to understand the geography of the Book of Mormon, I may be of some help. Now remember, the Lord has not revealed the specific location of any site in the main body of the Book of Mormon. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints takes no position on it. But right smack dab in the middle of the book, on page 265, 266, is a description of Mesoamerica. This is Mesoamerica. Is that a coincidence? I doubt it. Now, if you want to understand the Book of Mormon, you need to keep in mind duality and symmetry. Everything is symmetrical. Remember, everything in the Book of Mormon tends to be symmetrical. There's a duality, a dualism to everything. I call it dualistic symmetry. You have the Isthmus of Tehuantepec and the land northward, the land southward. Sea north, sea south. Sea north has a sea east, sea south has a sea west. Now you have peopling by civilizations from the old world. You have what the Book of Mormon calls Jaredites, but the scientists call them Olmec, that peopled this region here in this part of Mexico, the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, and up this way, up this cul-de-sac, the Grijalva River Basin from La Venta up the Grijalva River. They peopled this region and the Pacific coastal region down to Soconusco. This is the Olmec. And over here you had the ancient civilization, the Maya. Now the Maya came from Southeast Asia, from around Cambodia, Vietnam, and around in there. And they crossed the Pacific and they developed this civilization. They added a high civilization over the Stone Age Japhetic civilization that had been in this region. Remember, the descendants of Japheth peopled the entire planet at a Stone Age level, including Mesoamerica. The Japhethites, the Stone Age people, but the civilizers came from the Old World later. The Jaredites came from the Tower of Babel, and they either landed here or here, we don't know, but the Jaredites imparted a high civilization to this Isthmian region, southern Mexico and the Isthmian region, the Jaredites. A branch of the Olmec people, what the scientists call the Olmec. The Mayans were a branch of the Lehites that the Book of Mormon said came from Jerusalem. They built a ship at the tip of the Arabian Peninsula at Oman, and they landed here in coastal Guatemala. The Lehites mixed with the Mayans and raised the civilization of the Mayans even further, taught them some new ideas about God, which they soon forgot, of course. But now the connecting link between the two civilizations was a small branch of Lamanites or Mayans under King Mosiah I, and we know them as Nephites. They crossed the narrow strip of wilderness into this cul-de-sac, and they spread their religion about a Messiah, the Lord Jesus Christ in the Book of Mormon. And they mixed in with these people here who had been a mixture of the Mulekites and the remnant of the Olmec. So these people are called the Mixosoke. The Mixosoke people, they were from the Maya, but with the admixture of the Nephites, they became the Mixosoke. Later they became the Epi-Olmec. All the time they're Maya to the south and the east. Maya, Maya, Maya. Now, in case you think I'm making all of this stuff up, it comes mostly from the great book, about 850-page book by John L. Sorensen, Mormon's Codex, and from secular references, and from the Book of Mormon itself, I think. Remember, right smack dab in the center of the book, page 265, 266, the description of Mesoamerica. Now, next thing I want to point out, I think the next important thing is that after the time of Christ, Christ visited them in 30 A.D. here at the temple in the land bountiful. And after he had visited them, there were 2 centuries of peace and harmony in the region. This conflict between the Mixosoke on the west and north and the Maya on the south and east, the Mixosoke and the Maya interaction or warfare across this Mixosoke-Maya interaction zone broke down, and the whole region was at peace for 2 centuries after the visit of Christ, whom, as you know, came to be called Quetzalcoatl by the Nahua and Kukulkan by the Maya. But it all broke down and there was peace and harmony. Now, in the beginning of the 3rd century A.D., the peace and harmony broke down and people tribalized again. There arose a great power center up here at Teotihuacan, a Nahua power center, and power centers in the southern Maya lowlands, particularly Tikal. There was an alliance made between the king of Tikal and the king of Teotihuacan and the king of Tikal, who was deposed, and the king of Teotihuacan put his son on the throne at Tikal. So there was a strong alliance, pardon my mixing these things up, there was a strong alliance made between Teotihuacan and Tikal, or between the Gadianton robbers and the Lamanites in the Book of Mormon, between the Nahua and the Maya. And guess who was right in the middle, in the way, blocking trade between the Nahua power and the Maya power? It was the Epi-Olmec, which was influenced by the Christian Nephites and the converted Lamanites. Right in between was in the Isthmian area was the Epi-Olmec, which included a lot of Nephites and converted Lamanites. They were in the way. They were blocking trade across the isthmus between the Teotihuacanos and the Tikalians, between the Nahua Empire and the Mayan Empire. And through the 3rd century A.D., this Epi-Olmec civilization, which was Isthmian and down the Pacific coast and in this Grijalva River Valley, this cul-de-sac here, the squeeze was put on it until in 385 A.D. the Nephites were exterminated up here at Mormon's Cumorah, San Martin Pahapan. And then by 400 A.D., all of the Christians were eliminated from the Epi-Olmec sub-civilization. And then by 500 A.D., all of the Epi-Olmec were wiped out. There was no Epi-Olmec civilization. The Nahua and the Maya now were free to trade, and there was a great deal of trade, and that gave rise to the Classic period. From the 4th century up till almost to the 10th century, the Classic period with the great building boom, the monumental building of pyramids and temples and all kinds of structures, walls, fortification and everything. And when the Spanish came, they found the Aztec and the Maya. Aztec represented the Nahua, the Maya still represented themselves, the Maya. The Nahua and the Maya, the Epi-Olmec and the Maya, the Mixosoke and the Maya, go back originally the Olmec and the Maya. Before them you had the Stone Age people. Now there really seems to me that there can be no doubt about it that this describes in a major way the events and the flow of civilization in the New World. And like I said, it is symmetrical and dualistic. Remember the yin and the yang? You've got the blue and the green, the yin and the yang, or the yang and the yin. Take your choice. But it all has to be dualistic. That's the way the Lord's mind works. He uses chiasmus in the literature, like in the Bible, in the Book of Mormon. It's largely, I should say, chiastic. Chiasmus reigns in the scriptures, and symmetry and dualism reigns in the geography. And again, by synecdoche, this region represents the Americas. North America, go up here toward Texas and the USA. Go down here to Central America, South America, North America, Central America, the Americas, the Promised Land. But this is where the action is. This is where it happened in the Book of Mormon. I have no doubt about it. I'm not trying to preach like I know it, but in my own mind, this is the region, and you can find out about it in the middle of the Book of Mormon, page 265, Alma 22, verses 27 to 34. Thank you.